Hey, folks, welcome back. I believe we're live. I got to do my normal thing where I got to check my my phone to see if we're doing our stuff. Where I got to check my my phone to see if we're doing pretty, folks. All right, I'm going to try the same thing as last week, but I'm doing it an hour later cuz I think the BOJ and the stock market of Japan will open in the next hour or so. So I'm gonna try to do a little spiel. It's mostly a rant, and I'm gonna try not to cuss. But so lately, I've been listening to all the people on X, all the what was it, nuts? What are they called? Influencers, like all the crypto bros, and they're all shitting on Coinbase. I always forget his name. Not Garlinghouse. The other one. I had his name a second ago. See, even Coinbase betrayal. So this guy. Say his name. I just forgot his name. Not Garlinghouse. Somebody say his name. Nobody's dropping his name whatsoever. All right, Armstrong. All right, I was thinking Adam something. So Brian Armstrong says no to the Clarity Act, and they're saying it's because he's trying to protect his bottom line and he's being selfish. He doesn't care about anyone but himself and his business and his employees and his bottom line. And so the whole narrative, the weaponized psyop, is the banks get to sneak off into the background because the banks are destroying it. The banks are saying we would like to screw over all of crypto, all of America, all the world, the American people, everybody, because we want our monopoly. We want to keep our monopoly, and we want our stupid, shitty products that everyone hates and that are dumb, but that make us a lot of money. We want to keep those going, and we don't want any competition. And all the crypto bros are like, yeah, you're right. Arling, dang it, what's his name? Arlinghouse? I just forgot it again. I can never remember his name. Armstrong Garlinghouse. Who cares? But so yeah, the banks got off with this current narrative on X and all the crypto bros doing their videos just angry at Armstrong. The banks got off the hook. And so everyone's blaming this guy for saying, no, that's a very shitty proposal for a law, which it is. And it's a very shitty, illegitimate Congress, and it's a very shitty, illegitimate news conglomerate industry. And, fake news, the legacy news studios are very shitty. Congress is illegitimate and very shitty. The banks are demonic and very shitty. And Armstrong is just like, hey guys, let's just say it's shitty and try to make something better. And the crypto bros are like, no. And so I'm like, I can't be hearing this right. Like the best one I heard was Crypto with Klaus, and he was just covering it, and his was pretty good. So I made it through the end of his video. But any of the influencers I've been listening to for the last year or whatever, I couldn't make it through their videos for the last couple days. I'm like, I don't think they're paid to be retarded, but I think it's just the way the narrative's being pushed. Everyone, like, no one's allowed to think for themselves. And it's the banks, everybody. What was the Titanic? The banks. What was 9/11? The banks. What was World War One? The banks. What was World War Two? The banks. What was Democrat-owned slaves in the South? The banks. Like, it's every single war is a banker's war. Like, you realize this whole thing about crypto and the banks are the bad guys. I'm not saying cryptos are the good guys, but the banks are always the bad guys. The banks have, this is the first time in history, David and Goliath, we get to have the smallest non-zero chance to let the banks bleed out and not patch their wounds. They reach up for help in the street as they're bleeding. We have a choice to step over them and spit on them. I will. Spit on them, make them bleed, stomp on their wounds to make it bleed faster. We have a chance to let this Leviathan bleed out in the streets, and we're bitching about somebody else who we're bitching about something else and not blaming the banks. It's always the banks and this, the banks and that. Like, so I'm just missing the point on X, what they're doing. Like, what are all these influencers? They're blaming Armstrong. He was like, you guys, it's a really bad bill. And then Garlinghouse from Ripple was like, we just need any bill. Any bill's better than no bill. That's, let's just get something on the law. Okay, Garlinghouse, let's get it on the law. Let's get it on the books that the bill completely helps we the people. It completely helps the people of the world, of every country, and it completely helps crypto, and it screws over the banks. Oh, we can't do that. We have to keep the one that screws over the world, screws over every single person of the world, and screws over crypto and only helps the banks. That's the bill you're talking about. We just need to get across the line. The one that screws over every single human on the planet. How about go fuck yourself, Garlinghouse? Whoops, I wasn't supposed to swear. But yeah, he's like, we just need to get a bill across. Well, let's get a bill across that helps every single human on the planet. No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, not that bill. This current one that only helps the banks out. That helps the bank keeps their monopoly, and they keep all your money, and you don't get your money, so you can't buy a house, so you can't have a family, so you can't buy a new car, so you can't pay your bills, so you can't eat, so you can't get your gas. That's the bill we need to pass, not the one that helps people so that they can buy groceries. What if I don't want to buy bologna and ramen noodles and I want to buy actual meat this week? Garland House says, no, fuck you. We need to help the banks out. So just agree with me. Coinbase is like, well, wait a minute. Armstrong right here is like, why don't we just make a good bill? We're here. The banks already lobbied a couple $100 million. Crypto lobbied $100-something million. So we're, $300-400 million deep in lobbying this illegitimate Congress. While we're here being fake and gay, let's just make something, kind of good. And then crypto bros are like, no, we have to have it to where it helps the banks out, because we have to have something, because Garlinghouse told us, and we're on his cock so hard that we're just going to agree with him. And if it helps the banks out and it screws us over, that's fine. We just have to agree with Daddy Garlinghouse. I'm like, you guys are retarded. We have a chance to not let the bank win. If it hurts us a little bit in the short term, okay, just don't sell. It's unrealized losses. Just don't sell. We have a chance to let the banks bleed out. This demonic, eternal, ancient Leviathan is starting to bleed. And you're like, ooh, we better give them a Band-Aid and kiss their boo-boo. You guys are sick. So that's my point of view. I'm not saying I'm totally with Armstrong, but I hate the banks, and I want to spit on them as they're bleeding out in the street, which is rational. And I'm not saying anything about his motives or not. I don't know what they are, but we're here. We got this illegitimate Congress that's on vacation right now, and let's make them at least do one good thing in their entire lives. 50 years in Congress, let's make them do one thing for we the people, for the sovereigns of this nation, which is us. Let's make them do one thing that actually helps us. I mean, they made their 200 million from the banks already. That's how much the banking industry lobbied Congress so far on this crypto topic. So they're making their 200 million from the lobbyists, prostitutes, and whores, all of this illegitimate whore of a Congress. They're making their money. Let's take some unrealized losses, tell the banks to shut the fuck up. You're bleeding out, put a sock in their mouth. I get violent when I think about banks. I hate them. Hate them. They stole so much money from me. All metaphorical violence. The banking concept. Banks are dead. We do not need them. We do not need banks. We are the banks now. They're just sitting there trying to, get their antennas and their suckers and their little needles back into us so they can feed off us a little longer. Let them die in the streets. Kick them off. Put them in the streets. Spit on them. And every time they try to reach up and, grab you, kick them. Kick the banks. Ooh, that's a t-shirt. Kick the banks. That's my feeling. And almost 100% of the crypto bros, the crypto influencers, what do they call it? The cryptoverse on X. They're all talking shit about this guy because he's saying like, hey, let's take a step back and try. Like, why do we have to make like a turd law, like a wet feces law? Why can't we make something that's kind of okay? They're like, no, never. We have to stick up for the banks and Daddy Garlinghouse. We have to just pass a bill no matter how many people it harms in the world. Like 100% of the people it'll harm. It'll take their money. The banks will siphon it off. The war pigs will siphon your money off. And they're like, yes, but at least we have something. That's capitulation. That's kowtow. Like, you are some jaded fucking cucks. What is this? Take some short-term, unrealized losses and let the banks die. What is this? What's your problem? It's the first chance in human history. There's enough of us and the technology's right and the timing's right to where we could kill the Leviathan. We've been hunted by dragons our entire human existence as a species. And now we could finally start to fight back. And maybe not kill the dragon, but definitely wound it and cause it to bleed. It's scared right now. And you guys are like, no, we need to hide in our cave like rats. And we just need to leave, sacrifice the virgins for the leave them out there for the dragon to eat. Because this dragon's too powerful. We just should accept our role as little rat slaves and let the dragon eat us. You cuck fucking pussies. Not supposed to cuss this one. But this goes to the core of my being. Banks are the devil. Always has been. Every war has been a banker war. Every single war. Every time we sent American sons and daughters to other countries to get murdered, it was for the banks. Yeah, the intelligence agencies are part of the banks. Like when we had to send all the boys and girls of American blood and treasure over to Afghanistan to guard the poppy fields for the CIA's heroin trafficking. We're not mad at that. Why aren't we mad at that? I think we should be mad at that. Every war is a banker war. Let the banks bleed. Kick the banks. Spit on them. We do not need banks. You do not need a bank anymore. They're not trustworthy. They don't have your money. Fractional reserve. They're stealing money from you. They can't be trusted. They do not have your money there. And the money they do have there is fake money. It's a fake Bank of London pedophile, satanic Federal Reserve note. It's fiat, it's pretend. We have, for the first time in history, we have holy money. We have an actual righteous asset that does not need the demonic banks. Like, this is how big it is. We have a golden spear that could pierce the heart of these demonic banks. And you're like, no, I would rather cower with my ass up and let the dragon, have his way. And that's every single influencer on X right now. I'm not getting this. I'm definitely not understanding. How do I share my shit? Oh yeah, not here. Boop. Boop. I got 2 screens now, but I'm not using the second screen. Actually, I can use the second screen right now. Oh damn. I haven't had a second screen live in so long. Ooh, it feels good. I got my little staging area back again. It's been so long since I had a staging area. All right, so I'm going to go back to my phone really quick, share this on X, let everyone know I'm calling them dragon raped cucks. And I don't understand why they're so cucky. Oh, reverse carry. What's some other tags I could do? I got XRP, reverse carry trade. Let's throw Crow in there. I like Crow. I never talked about Crow today. Oh, yen. Get some yen in there. BOJ. That should be good. All right. So now maybe I'll get some comments. Maybe I'm just. I think I understand it because I say, I did a post earlier. It's like, so when the banks and Congress say loophole, when they're talking about the stable coins, because that's the whole thing. They're trying to relitigate the Genius Act, which is established, settled law about stablecoin yields and stuff. So the banks are trying to relitigate that in the Genius Act or in the Clarity Act right now. So whenever the illegitimate paid off cucked Congress, illegitimate, they cannot prove they've been elected. They cannot prove it. When the banks and Congress say, stablecoin loophole, you just got to picture them with a dildo on their forehead. Then what they're saying will make sense. They have a big old floppy dildo on their forehead. That's who these illegitimate whores of Congress members are. 200 million spent on Congress by the banks to get them to screw over American citizens. We, the people, the sovereigns, are being screwed over by this illegitimate whore of a Congress that does not represent us. So just picture them with a big floppy dildo on their forehead, and then that's the respect they deserve because they're illegitimate. They're taking money to make our lives more difficult. And I wonder why my shit doesn't go mainstream. Oh, damn. So I'm just waiting for this to open. I think it's going to hit 20 today. I think today's the day. The pressure's up there. 20,000. I think it's going to hit 20,000. I think this is going to go. Let's say 165. That's huge if it does that. That's world ending. No news. Evernorth, they filed their S4, so they were supposed to go live by the end of Q1, which is like 2 days. I think. Is there a 31st in our doodad? I don't know. Who cares? 1 or 2 days. So April 1st, they could be live. And I was doing some thinking this morning about Evernorth. So they're further up the risk profile, the risk ladder, than owning the native bearer asset. So you could own XRP with lower risk, or just the volatility, just the native volatility of crypto. Or you could climb up the risk ladder a little bit, and you could hold what these are called digital asset treasuries, or DATs. And that's more risky because it's a leveraged play on the bearer asset. You don't own the bearer asset, but you have access and exposure to more. So, like, let's say you buy one share, and when this goes live, because it's a SPAC right now, a special purpose acquisition company, and it's supposed to close, and as they haven't said otherwise yet, so it's supposed to close in the next couple days. And they filed their S4, which means they're closing. They filed that, I think, a week or two ago. So they could close in the next couple days. And SPACs are always around $10 a share. So we don't know if it's going to jump, if it's going to sink. We don't know what's going to happen. But the whole point of a DAT, a digital asset treasury like Evernorth, is that you get leveraged exposure. You get what I call a distillation. So it's like when you're making moonshine, you distill it and it gets more concentrated. So you buy one share. Let's use some arbitrary numbers. This doesn't reflect what's going to happen with them, but we're just going to use some nice, easy, round numbers. Let's say you buy one share of, for instance, Evernorth. This is just a theoretical. This isn't based in reality. But so let's say we buy one share of Evernorth, and the leverage is 10 times. So if I buy one share at $10, it's worth, I get exposure to 10 XRP. Let's say XRP is $1. Just using easy numbers. So I have one share with a 10 times leverage in there, because they distilled it down to where one share, they spent billions and billions on XRP, so they have enough, and they issue just enough shares to where one share has access to 10 XRP. Okay, cool. So now XRP appreciates. So let's say XRP goes from $1 to $10. So that's a 10x. So I paid my $10. Now I have exposure. I don't own the asset, but I have exposure to 10 XRP that now 10 times each is $100. So I 10 times. So it distills it, and and if it goes to $100, blah 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 blah, and they're most likely going to do a dividend, which will be like yield or a reward or whatever, because the digital asset treasuries, they're going to be staking their XRP on I don't know. There's different other blockchains, but maybe Flare. That's right now 3.4%. They could probably get more. So there's going to be one second. So, one second. My sister called and she's mad I didn't answer the phone. Mine's faster. So they're going to do, I think they're going to do dividend. And what they do is over time, they take the the yield or the staking rewards and buy more of the asset. And so that gives you, and some of the staking rewards to pay out, some of the staking rewards to, pay the bills, some of the staking rewards to buy more of the bearer asset. So you're distilling. So your one share is now worth 11 XRP. A couple of years, 12 XRP. This is just very arbitrary, easy numbers. But this is just to understand the concept. And then so that's one way you're getting higher concentration, a distilled exposure to the bearer asset. On top of that, the active management of these digital asset treasuries, these DATs, they're going to be lending out at certain rates, 5, 10, whatever, an agreed upon rate. So they're going to be making it income off of lending. They're going to be doing collateral. They're going to be doing, down the road mortgages. And these are digital asset treasuries, deep liquidity pools that are going to be needed as shock absorbers for the huge, get ready for this, quadrillions of dollars in digital assets and real world assets, RWAs, and tokenized assets that are going to be zooming around this planet and maybe other planets in the next 10 years. Other planets in the next 10 years, zooming around this planet next year or two. Come on, let's go. And so they're never going to sell their asset. They're just going to lend it out to make interest payments, to get interest back on it. They're going to stake their asset on the blockchain to make the blockchain more secure and make it. And they're going to run these guys. I don't know if they're going to run their own validator node, but I know MCGA is going to run their own validator node. And so they're going to make staking rewards. I don't know what percent. Right now, Flare's doing like 3.4. They're probably going to get something better. And so that makes, so like, what's that? 10? I don't know. They could be like, let's just make a fun number. 20% APY. Like they're breaking 20% on a couple billion a year. So like 300-400 million a year. They could pay that out in dividends, pay to keep the lights on. And they're increasing their assets, the bearer asset, the XRP. They're buying that. They're buying more of that, which, periodically or every couple months or whatever. So first couple years, it's, 200 million a year, 250 million a year, 300 million a year, 400 million a year. It's a distillation process. And you hold one, let's just say one stock, after 10 years, you had exposure to 10 XRP. Now you got exposure to 20. And so you doubled your exposure and XRP increased in value. So that's double gain. Like, this is awesome. Like, digital asset treasuries are so cool. The only way I could see a problem is if they dilute the stock, like print more stock down the road. That could just kill off everything, because now that's like pouring water after you're trying to, distillate your moonshine. It was, 100, what was it, 100, 200 proof, and then you just pour a bunch of water in there, and now it tastes like Bush Light. That's not a good thing. So if they that's what I need to. I asked Jake Claver, Beyond Broke. I asked him that this morning. He might not reply, but I threw it out there on the internet. It's like, can digital asset treasuries issue more stock down the road? I could see that. I don't know. I hope not, but they probably can. But maybe it's a governance thing. Shareholders are the governors, and shareholders will say no. We'll see. But if they do a stock split, that would be dope. Because then, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to treat it like a company, which it kind of is. I mean, it's a security. It's an E word, not an equity. Is it an equity? But a digital asset treasury. I'm still trying to figure it like exact. These are a new entity. I call them shock absorbers for the new rails of the digital asset, for the, what do they call it? The agentic economy. Agents, AI agents. It's called the agentic economy. So that could kill it. If you dilute the stock, then that takes away all your gains. That decreases your exposure to the bearer asset. So maybe that is the risk, part of the risk. Because if you own the asset, you just have volatility. If you buy this, you could have lots of exposure and a distilled process to where every month you're gaining exposure to more and more of the bearer asset through the one share you own, and the asset is increasing, so it's double gains, or just a lot of gains on top of a lot of other gains. But all of that could be wiped out with issue a new stock, around a suite of stock issuance. So you could be doing badass for 10 years and all of that gain get wiped out because they issued more stock. So that's, maybe it's not like maybe it doesn't even exist and it's a worry that I just made up, and it doesn't exist in reality. So trying to figure that part out. But as of now, it's a question I have. Can digital asset treasuries like Evernorth and I was into some shit. Evernorth and MCGA, can they do subsequent rounds of stock issuance? Oh yeah. One more thing I wanted to say about them. Oh, let's check really quick. Stop. Still closed. So it has to be 6, right? But look at that. 10% in one day on a Friday, the last day of the of Japan's market. Japan's stock market closed with a 10% jump in energy cost, $1,500 or 1,500 yen, and that's up. About a month ago, it was 10,000, not around 9 or 10,000. So, I mean, that's up 60% in a month. Like, I'm trying to say, like, what if what if your wife weight went up 60% in a month? You'd be alarmed. So, what if the gas prices went up 60%, which they are going to and are? Get your gas tanks filled right now. Get an extra gas can right now because you'll be doing it in a month. What I'm hearing is about mid-April is when people are going to be fighting it at the gas station. And I got all my cars are full, all my vehicles, my little scooters are full. I got my extra gas can full. Got the quad full. Got the motorcycle full. Got the dirt bike full. Let's go. Like, We're gonna see $5. It's already $5 in some places now, $7 in some Californias, and we're heading there. It's not gonna get cheaper. It's gonna get more expensive. Eventually, it'll get dirt cheap, like within a year maybe. But April is gonna be a summon a bitch. Just in my opinion. And if it doesn't, then guess what? I have gas to mow my lawn all summer long. I don't have to buy any gas to mow my lawn. So, win-win, mother muchachos. Well, okay. So that's what I wanted to say about that. So I'm trying to wrap my head around it. So let's just use same numbers again. And let's use some fantasy numbers, some Jake Claver fantasy numbers to where XRP jumps to a high and stable price, which is the only way you could use XRP is if it's at a high stable price. They don't want fluctuations. They're building digital asset treasuries like Evernorth as shock absorbers. So if you want to do a $10 billion deal, this will absorb some of that with a deep liquidity pool. So you see the market, the line stays horizontal. It doesn't spike, it doesn't dip. It stays horizontal because of digital asset treasuries. It's like on-demand liquidity. Shock absorbers. And that's only so things like Evernorth are only necessary when it's tens and hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, quadrillions of dollars being transacted and settled. And the only way you could use XRP and to keep it from spiking and dipping is if it's at a high, stable price, 3 or 4 digits at a minimum to function correctly. The higher it is, the smoother it runs. This baby runs hot. So let's just say I bought a share of Evernorth, and let's just say this is all fantasy numbers right here, that their leveraged exposure for a share is 10 to 1. I have no idea what it's going to be. We don't know how many shares they have. We kind of know how much XRP they have. I think they bought $1 billion worth right now at a buck something. We don't know enough yet to even get numbers. Like, normies, like outsiders don't. Some people do. But they can't. They have NDAs. They can't talk. So let's just use some fantasy numbers. I buy a share. I got 10 to 1 leverage on it. So they have it to where they gave out enough shares to you get exposure to 10 XRP per share. And then so the SPAC goes live. Now it's a full, what is it called? XRP. I don't know what the ticker is. XRPN, I think. In like Nancy. So now it's live on the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange or whatever. Don't know what the price is going to be. They usually go up from $10. The SPACs are just like an arbitrary $10 per share. So when it settles, it just should go up. And whatever, that's my hope, but I don't know enough to predict it. But let's say, for instance, XRP, all else stays the same, and XRP goes to $100. So that's 100 times 10. So now all of a sudden, my $10 share is worth $1,000 because it's a leveraged exposure through digital asset treasuries. Same thing with MCGA. Whatever they do, the exposure of Chronos per share, we don't know it yet, but they secretly filed their S4. I think that I'm connecting MCGA and Evernorth together. I think they're going to drop at the same time. Nobody said that. Nobody knows anything. Nobody's predicting that. That's just like when you want to get if you're going to bumper bowl, you want the bumpers in there before you start bowling. Otherwise, you're going to start throwing gutter balls. So that's what these things are. They're shock absorbers, these digital asset treasuries, Evernorth, MCGA. This is a SPAC as well, digital asset treasury, and they're all set, ready to go. All the products are created. All the digital assets are purchased. Not all of them, but most of them. I think these purchased $1 billion. These purchased $1 billion. Something like that, rough numbers. And they're all set. So you got like 2 people waiting on the side to throw the bumpers in for the bumper bowl. And everyone's just kind of looking around like, why don't they put the bumpers in? We're ready to bowl. We're ready. Everything's set up. We got the rails. You know, the black lights are on. The 80s music's playing. Let's put the bumpers in. They're not doing it. But I feel it's close. April, I felt like March was going to do it. March heated up. I mean, we're at 160. That's scary for like Japanese financial people are shitting their butts. And that's scary. It's over here. I'm going to say it's going to go to 20 while we're live tonight. I have a feeling it's going to dip, like they're going to pull some weird fiat, demonic voodoo, but we'll see. I mean, well, look at that. The 52-week range, 8,000 to 18,000. It more than doubled in a year. That's volatile. So something's got to, the dam is stretching. The spring is coiled so tight. Everything's cracking and shaking. Like we are here. So I felt like it was going to be March. Everything was lining up, but they added more weight to the spring, let it coil harder. The steam is just whistling in this motor, like every analogy you can think of. The volcanoes just spitting out smoke, rumbling, rocks are falling down it. This baby's about to blow. Timing's hard to predict, but again, it looks like April. Judging by like, we see like converging narratives. So Evernorth said Q1 2026, we're launching this sucker. And they filed their S4. That means they're launching this sucker. We have 2 more days in Q1. That's pointing to April 1st. So we're what else? And there's a couple other things. So I think MCGA is going to launch soon too. They just will not file anything new. Could check if they wanted to do it to the SEC. I did not click that. Oh, maybe I did. Adara. Bought some more of them. Let's go. This is FedEx. This is there was a good tweet about that. I got my coffee in the way. Oh yeah, McLaren. This wasn't what I was going to talk about. I wanted to see the other thing. That's me. Oh, I posted that. Personally, I see H-bar as centralized. I think it's centralized. But I go on to say it's one big, massive, centralized tsunami of liquidity. Hang 10, mother muchachos. It's centralized? Fine. I don't have to love it. But guess what? Let's see. Is it this guy? Dang it. I want to see what I commented on. I think it's, yeah. So it's centralized. One big, massive, centralized tsunami of liquidity. I could like my own shit. Boom. First one to like my own. Ooh, 170 views. That's good for me. I'm not even verified. So this is who's committed to HBAR. Ubisoft, that's video games. That's in-game. That's Assassin's Creed. That's tons of great games. Dell, BitGo, see Hitachi. That's that Japanese or Chinese? I think Japanese. FedEx, Deutsche Telekom, German. That's cool. Don't know what that is. Standard Bank. Couple banks are in HBAR. Google, Chainlink. Google's working with HBAR, Hedera. FedEx. That's payments. That's wire transfers. That's cheaper rates. That's mileage. Whatever. That's better data, more efficient, cheaper, better, faster. McLaren. That's funny. That's Jake Claver. They'll go around and around with the same FUD until it's too late. I bought more today. Yeah, I see it's centralized. I think these are the people that are on the governing council. Google, IBM, McLaren, LG, Deutsche. Heck yeah, it's centralized. They're running it. They're going to make it the way they want it. But guess what? It's going to go up. The price per token is going to go up. Yeah, it's a centralized. It's one big, massive, centralized tsunami of liquidity. I'll ride it up. Guess what? I'll take that profit, put it in something else. Or if they offer yield, I'll just slap it in there and get passive income for the rest of my life. Fine. I won't transact on it. I won't interact with it. I'll just get my passive income, grab my beer and surfboard, put my chair on it. It's probably taped, right? And just go surfing about it. Hang 10, mother muchachos. Money's coming. Money's going to be so easy. They're going to have universal basic income for the tards that aren't paying attention to any of this. They're going to have universal basic income, which will be fine. They'll get all their food, all their electricity, all their things paid for. But those of us who are hungry, who are thirsty, we're paying attention. We're not going to need universal basic income. You could have that. That's for the people that's for the 90%, the 80% that have no clue what's been going on for the last 100 years. Us conspiracy theorists, us researchers, we know something else. So HBAR is centralized, but it's going to go up. So it doesn't have proof of stake on it, so they're going to have to wrap it somehow. So down the road, sell it, wrap it, stake it, flip it, smack it. I don't know. But it's going to go up. I got to go back to that. Not that, you silly. Look at that lineup. LG, that's TVs. Hitachi's, I think I bought a Hitachi TV. Dell, that's PCs, computer screens, everything. IBM, that's 4. Let's see what else we could do. Ubisoft, that's video games, computers. So that's 4 or 5, like right off the top, because I don't know about all this other stuff. 4 or 5 right off the top that deal with computing. And remember, the key term always, until people understand it and know it and get it in their brains, agentic economy. How many of these companies are going to roll out their own AI agents for people? Almost all of them. But this is big. I didn't even catch this yet. Or McLaren, I didn't even talk about that. But this is the board of the governing council. They're going to go hard in the agentic economy. They're going to go hard into AI compute and blockchain and RWAs, real world assets, and the tokenized economy. It's centralized, but it'll go up. It'll go up. So McLaren, like, it's not big in the US, but F1 racing. I mean, the money that goes into F1 racing is completely ridiculous. Outrageous. I didn't see this yet. Oh yeah, the top 16. I'll cover that in a second. That's good. Like, for instance, I think I got one statistic on F1 racing. It's a couple $1,000,000 to get the car to the race, because you can't drive it on the street. You can't like haul it on the back of a flatbed. It has to have its own semi with all the fixins and straps and tools, and it's international. So now you're shipping it, but it has to go there fast. It's like millions of dollars just to get the car to the race. That's the type of money we're talking to in F1. And F1's, I can't find the post that I was looking for, but F1 partnered with tokenization on HBAR. That's international. I think F1 is bigger than soccer worldwide. Like soccer, football, isn't that, big in America? But worldwide, it's pretty big. And I think F1 is actually bigger than that. Like money-wise, definitely. But I mean popularity-wise. And F1 and McLaren chose HBAR. It's going up. So the SEC and the CSTC did a joint letter. I think this is the joint letter. I can't. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the letter. I want to follow this dude. So these are commodities now. These have clarity on commodities, not in law. This is just the governing bodies, the SEC and the CSTC, came out and said, these are commodities. These are not securities. APT, AVAX, BTC, BCH, ADA, I think that's Cardano, Doge is on there. Doge, Shiba Inu's there. I gotta buy some more SHIB. That's interesting. So I'd link Shiba Inu. Somebody told me this at work. Like, I'm not into SHIB, but they might start using that Shiba Inu as in-game currency. Solana, XLM, Stellar, Ecstasy, and XRP, baby. But HBAR is on that list. Who likes HBAR? Just these people. Just McLaren, F1 Racing. Just Google, YouTube, and the biggest search engine ever that has access to most of your data. Just FedEx, a really big shipping, worldwide shipping conglomerate. Just Ubisoft, just a Hitachi, just LG. Oh, that's T-Mobile's sign. I didn't see that a second ago. Deutsche Telekom. That's T-Mobile. Dell. That's interesting. So I'm just saying, yeah, I think it's centralized. But at the same time, judging by that list, it's not for retail. They don't, like, You're bitching that it's centralized and all that. They're like, good, we didn't design it for you. Retail, get the hell out of here. They designed it for themselves to be completely 100% controllable and centralized, but digital and what they call atomic settlement, which means like you send it, it's there, it's done, confirmed. Not like we got to wait, T+2, you send it on a Friday. Now we got to wait till Monday afternoon. Oh, it's a holiday on Monday. Now we got to wait till Tuesday to see if the payment went through. Oh, it didn't go through. Can you send it again? Now it's going to be next Wednesday. No, 3 minutes paid, done. Atomic settlement, confirmation within minutes. T+0. H-bar wasn't designed for us. It's Polkadot. I forgot about them. That's interesting. I always had a feeling about them. I sold most of mine, but I have a feeling. Shiba Inu, that's interesting. I won't buy any right now. Maybe what did I have a long time ago? Last year, like 120 million of them. They're so cheap. Dang it, I'm going to buy some. I want them. Dumb purchase. 1 second, folks. This is what you should not do. Buy on especially while you're on your own podcast. Especially when it's just Shiba Inu. But it's on the list. So what if of all and check this number out, of all the 47 million cryptocurrencies out there, 47 million cryptocurrencies, only 16 were mentioned by the SEC and the CSTC. All right. I bought a little bit. You never ever talk about your bags, but I just got a tight 3.2 million Shiba Inus. That's dumb. I want it. All right. What? They're on the list. Shiba Inu is on the list of the top 16 cryptocurrencies. But I mean, like, we have an official list of digital commodities. This is the official list from the governing bodies, the U.S. federal governing bodies. This is the list of digital assets that have clarity. Behold. And Shiba Inu is one of them dang things. I just sent somebody 500,000 Shiba Inu. That's fun. Well, shouldn't have bought those. Who cares? That was fun. Wait. Can you stake Sheeb? I don't know anything about it. You cannot. All right. Well, I mean, what the heck? Why is Why is Shiba Inu even on that list? That's something that makes me want to research it just because it's on the list of the top 16. These are out of 47 million cryptocurrency tokens. These are the 16 that the SEC decided to give clarity to. What the literal F? So, it's Saturday. I hear people taking out garbage. It's Saturday. No, it's Sunday night. Oh, it's garbage night. So, has it been going? Oh, it's been going down. Cool. All right, cool. I guess I made a little money. I sold some and then I went down a little and I bought some back in. So I accidentally didn't lose money. So that's just blowing my mind. What the literal heck? Shiba Inu is one of the top. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. So 6 o'clock. I missed it by a minute. Sorry, folks. 1% up. Add that to the 10% from yesterday. We're at 12%. This 42-second thing. It's kind of fun. It gives you, like, if you're waiting somewhere, this is the perfect thing to watch because you're like actually ticking down the minutes, but as it gets to 10 seconds, it turns red. You're like, yeah, another update. And I don't know, that's just fun. But we'll do this for a couple minutes. I wanted to be on the podcast doing a live stream when it goes to 20K. This ain't even moving. Is this live? It ticks on my phone. Oh, boo. There we go. This seems live to me. Yeah, there we go. Barrel of crude's already still over $100, 101. I said 165, which is ridiculous. That's super duper high. That's into the world panic Armageddon high. But let's go. I got no credibility. I got no credentials. I'm just going to say weird shit. We're saying 20,000 and 165 before we end this stream. The weirdest thing is if it holds steady, because it should not. That means they did some weird voodoo. Going down is probably what's going to happen. Hold. Because they're going to do some weird shit so that they don't have to panic. You know, manipulate things around and blah 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 so that they don't have to panic sell. But it is happening. You can't avoid it. This is 12%. That's like 62% in a month. And they can't import anymore. So now they're using their reserves up in the middle of a war frenzy, wartime species that likes killing each other for some reason. Our leaders like killing us, called democide. That's going to leave them vulnerable with no oil reserves at all. There we go. That's updating. Okay. I mean, only up. Like, price of oil just went up $2 in 4 minutes. This is it. This is happening. Well, yeah, the top 16 crypto specifically named by the SEC. Why? Why those 16 out of 47 million possible cryptocurrencies? Oh, we're ducking down. Here we go. We're ducking. What is it? Wicking down. Oh, the yen went up again. So is that 160.4? As that goes up, that's literally watching the depreciation of their dollar. Like the citizens of Japan are able to buy less and less and less with their money as that ticks up. And 160 is the panic point. We were waiting for it to hit 160, finally did. That's when the Bank of Japan and all the officials intervened last time. What was it, 2024, somewhere around there? And we're here. And they're letting it ride. They're like, let it cook. So the engines letting, like all the tires have fell off this car, and the motor's like letting out steam. You got warning lights everywhere. It's rattling. The windows are all busted. There's like a tree through the front windshield. They're like, no, we got this. Let it ride. Let it ride. We're going to make it. Like, no, we should do something. So the Bank of Japan has to do something, and they're not. This is like letting somebody drown. Like you have a stick and they're reaching up for it and you're like, no, whatever. And you just throw the stick down and walk away. That's what the Bank of Japan's doing right now. Their citizens are drowning and they're like, no. And it will only get worse. So let me slap in on X and see what they're doing. If it's anything good on X, I'll let y'all know. Points or bad behavior from Ripple City. Yeah, Cardano, that's ADA. They're on the top 16 list. So yeah, the ADA was just speaking logical. He was attacking Garlinghouse, which you can't attack Big Daddy Garlinghouse because he's the one giving it to all the crypto bros with their butts in the air. You can't attack him. And if you do, crypto bros turn on you. I mean, they're all fake accounts. Like, I don't know this account, never saw that name before. They're talking crap. It's all bot farms, but it's manufacturing consent. It's a psyop. So what was his name? Cardano, the Cardano guy. Cardano founder. I don't know his name, but he's making sense to me, man. Garlic, dang it, not Roundhouse. Adams, it's not Adams House. Armstrong, Coinbase, and Cardano, ADA. They're making sense to me, and you don't have to be in a camp. You don't have to die on a hill. All I'm saying is, why you guys all dying on a hill with your butts in the air, waiting for the big old demonic dragon banks to come get you? Like, you don't have to do that either. I'm not dying on the Cardano, Coinbase, Armstrong hill. I'm not dying on the butts in the air, big dragon rape bank hill. You don't have to. You could just say, hey, this is a dumb argument. Coinbase yield was it's settled, established statutory law from the Genius Act. We already did that. So all of this is silly, and Congress a bunch of illegitimate whores. Congress cannot prove they were elected. There is zero way to count the ballots, zero way to prove the ballots exist. And if you ask for the ballots to count them, to make sure that they were counted right, you're a racist. We can't get ID because Democrats are saying black people aren't smart enough to get ID and women aren't smart enough to get ID. That's why we can't have ID to verify American citizens are the only one voting. That's a Democrat argument. That's a dumb argument, but it's dumb on purpose. Blaming Armstrong and the Cardano guy while having your butts in the air for the big old dragon rape banks. That's dumb too, but they're all doing it. Why? I say it's easier now. Like, it's not even fun calling people retarded anymore because now, like, the woke people are like the dickless woke satanic child raping retards. They like being stupid. Like, stupid's a virtue now. It's like they systematically had their testosterone removed to such a point to where stupidity became a virtue. We're climbing here. Yeah, we're at 13% since, Friday till today. But yeah, let me see. They're trying to see if there's any good posts. See if Jake Claver posts on this. Usually hits it up pretty good. But see, so they keep saying that Bank of Japan already sold like 600 billion of U.S. assets yesterday, but they said that Friday, Thursday, and it's by accounts that I have no clue who they are whatsoever. So I don't think they did. Charles Hoskins is his name from Cardano. I'm reposting that mog. I'm digging them. Like, I'm not in their camp. I'm not dying on their hill. It's just they're the ones that are speaking logically. Hey, this bill's a bunch of crap. You guys got paid off and lobbied by the bank because you're illegitimate, a Congress of illegitimate whores. That this Clarity Act is going to harm every single American and human on this planet. It's going to steal money from them. That's not a good thing. That's not something I want my representative to support. How about we do a good bill and tell the banks to go jump off a building? And tell Congress to stand around the splash zone. There you go. That's teamwork. I hate the banks. Let them bleed out. Kick the banks. Spit on the banks. Metaphorical violence to the bank, the concept of big banking. The evil satanic pedophiles that have started every single war for hundreds of years. That's who I hate. They're saying there's a H-bar dip next week, but all the ones that are saying this weird shit are names I never realized before. So just stay frosty, people. There is an active bot war psyop. There always is, but it seems like shit. Like 1 out of every 3 on my feed is a bot that I've never saw before, saying some weird things. Yesterday was about how cool Japan is. Today it's about how cool Hedera is, H bar, and how bad Armstrong from Coinbase and I forgot his name from Cardano, Charles from Cardano. So there's big money involved. The banks had no problem spending 200 million plus on the whores in Congress. Imagine what they're paying to bot farms to just push a weird narrative. Like how many influencers are saying these banks are fake and gay? Like the banks have always been the problem. Zero. I haven't heard any of the influencers I listen to daily talk about the banks. They're blaming the crypto people for condemning the banks, or not condemning the banks, but just saying, like, why don't we just have a good bill? Garlinghouse is like, we don't need a good bill. I know this bill's trash, but let's just pass something. Okay, let's pass something. Let's pass a bill that helps American people. Let's pass a bill that helps the sovereign. Let's pass a bill that helps true asset currency and not debt-based demonic fiat currency. Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that. The crypto guys are the problem. So now I'm not famous enough for people to complain about, but if I was, it'd be like, can you believe he said the banks are bad? He's sticking up for Armstrong. He's sticking up for Cardano. Such a contrarian hipster. How about pass a good bill? It's real easy. How about pass a bill that helps the American people? These representatives of the American people that are taking money from the banks to harm American people, these illegitimate whores in Congress, hate them all. None of them are worth a damn. 50 years, no job, not worth a damn. That's the whole point of this podcast, just to listen to me rant about how much I hate the banks, how much I hate Congress, this illegitimate whore of a Congress. That's the whole point of this, and I hope my mom didn't tune in because she would not like my language. So, all right, smoke. SMQE, smoke dog. SMQKEDQG. He's tight. He posted something. Meanwhile, tokenized treasury funds such as BlackRock, Bildel, and VanEck's V-Bill benefit from stablecoins being available as an additional off-ramp for holders. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have. I'm trying to figure out how to hate more. I'm at 117% hate. I want to like smush that hate down so I have more hate in me, because we do not hate Congress enough. We do not hate the banks enough. They're doing a psychological warfare, exquisitely refined psychological warfare, a psyop, is being enacted on us right now. It's on my phone right now, millions of dollars being paid to try to convince me to bend over and take it from the demonic demons. We do not hate the banks enough. Let them bleed. Piss on them, spit on them, kick the banks. Do not let them get their suckers back on you. Do not let them get their claws back in you. We are the banks now. They are unnecessary. Every single banking institution is unnecessary. You don't hate them enough. All right, Japan. Nobody's talking about it. I mean, it's not bouncing. It's not doing anything big, which I thought it was going to do. So they're doing something. They're doing something to manipulate it because it's runaway now. They're like, maybe it's, the car analogy where the windshield's broken, the tires are broken off, the radiator's steaming and all that. Maybe it's raining outside too, and they're like catching the rainwater in a bucket and trying to pour it in the radiator as they're driving. Like they're doing something. This is runaway. This is runaway hyperinflation. Like the beginning of it. And they're not doing anything to stop it. Like anything official, like they're not telling the citizens like, hey, we're going to stop it, We're not going to let your purchasing power go to zero. The smart people in Japan are already on XRP. So they're already out of the yen. All right. Ripple's David Schwartz says a top exchange delayed listing XRP until millions were paid, despite it being a clear business win. See, I don't know, man. There's so many psyops. Like, yeah, it's probably 1 out of 3, maybe even like it's either 25 to 40%, 25 to 30% of my feed is psychological warfare psyops that aren't my friends on X. They're not. I'm not signed up for them. They just show up names I've never saw before. So 25 to 30% are paid spies, are paid assassins trying to corrupt my critical thinking. Just know we are in World War III right now. This is it. We're not waiting for World War III. World War III is fought in your mind. The battlefield is in your mind. Your attention is the land that's being taken. Concentrate. Calm yourself. Keep your nervous system grounded. Calm down. You see, earlier I was hyped. That's how they could get me. If I get off balance, get on my heels, hating the bank so much, they could use that. They feed off that. I'm discontent. I'm off balance. My nervous system is fried when I do that. Don't do that. I shouldn't do that. It's better if I didn't do it. I'm glad to know it's there. I got berserker mode. If it's ever necessary, I got that berserker mode. I could walk right through you. Unnecessary right now, though. So let's keep that bottled. Let's keep calm. So it looks like it's just hovering. I'm going to cut it. Didn't dip. It's hovering. I'm going to keep watching it throughout the night. I suggest you do too. So yeah, it's early morning in Japan right now. This is what they're waking up to. 60% 60% increase in energy cost. And this is at the very beginning. This isn't like it hasn't trickled down yet. Everything that you can purchase relies on energy. A truck, a shipment, you got to plug it in to manufacture it, to cook it, whatever. You got to ship it there. There's a tsunami of price increase coming to Japan. They're gonna be able to purchase 60% less real soon. The damage is already done. The fuse is already lit, and their leaders are doing nothing. Which I'm not picking on their leaders. They're just as illegitimate and whores as our leaders, which are doing nothing as well. Ours are literally on vacation. This is a tsunami of catastrophic events unfolding, what they say unwinding. And our leaders are on vacation. You don't hate them enough. Save your hate, though. Don't let it ruin your day. Don't let it ruin your appetite. Don't let it mess with your immune system or your nervous system. But just know these people are not on your side. Congress does not work for us. Congress does not represent us. 0%. They are bought and paid for by the banks and other special purpose, what's that word? Special concern, special access, whatever. Congress is bought and paid for. They are whores, illegitimate whores. I'm going to leave you with that. There's my podcast where I tried not to cuss. And all right, folks, just do your best to stay grounded and don't follow the psyop. All the posts online right now, I'm telling you, 25 to 30% of them are there to psyop you, to exquisitely refine psychological warfare, MK Ultra. They're fake, they're bots, they're paid phony actors. We're better than this. We deserve better leaders. Banks are done. Banks are unnecessary. That's reality. I'm the bank now. I don't need a bank. Banks are unnecessary. That's it. Love you guys. Stay strong.